Hey peeps, DJMK here, and welcome to another episode of SC2VN, the esports visual novel. I decided to do my intro just a little bit differently today, and I'm going to be talking over the music rather than doing a little pause and then talking over it. So that way, when people jump in, they at least get a little bit more of an introduction, and it's not so weird of a space when I start up the game. So, anyway, how's everybody doing today? Today is a Tuesday over here, though I know for some regions it's already Wednesday, so whatever day it is, hope you're having a good one. And, yeah, before I begin the broadcast, officially, I really wanted to give, thanks to Pharaoh himself. He actually gave me a copy of Age of Empires 2 on Steam, so thank you so much for giving me that. That is a game that I have so many fond memories of. I have the disc, but it's too damaged for me to put it on my computer, so I'm glad at least there's an online version that now I can go out and play, so thank you so much for that. And then I think also Claxer is my first official follow on Twitch, so huge shout out to you as well. Thank you so much for following me. I'll be sure to make sure this visual novel is as entertaining as possible. Rest assured, I will give you a little catch up as to what went down in this visual novel. I mean, of course, it's a visual novel, so some people already, like, you know, jumped in, already know the story and stuff and such. But for those, I always do a recap for those who are coming in, late in the game or just need a fast refresher. So without further ado, here is SC2VN, which is a visual novel. And a visual novel, for those who don't know it, and believe it or not, there are still quite a number of people, especially in the West, whether it's the US or somewhere else, that still doesn't know what a visual novel is. But for those who don't know what a visual novel is, it's basically a text-based game, kind of like those old-school text-based games, except they actually have visuals in them. Some of them do have mini-games, but ultimately, it's kind of like Mass Effect, but without the action sequences in between, or with you playing them at least. I mean, there are some that have mini-games, there's some that have other interactive elements, but ultimately, it is mostly everything that it takes to bring a story forward. And what else? And you make decisions. You make decision making that can ultimately pull you into a bad ending, a good ending, a so-so ending, or just an event that brings you further into the story. So there's a variety of ways you could actually end up in these plots. Surprisingly, so far, I'm going through this completely blind. So far, I've been going really, really well. I've got a team, for SC2VN. I've got a team, and, I've got, what else? I'm also improving in my gaming skills, according to this, and, in this, visual novel, it's based on, StarCraft 2, the current version of StarCraft released by Blizzard. And it's about a foreigner named Mach who is trying to make her way, or his way, depending on gender you pick. Kind of like Commander Shepard, you can also choose the gender of your gaming protagonist. In this case, I chose a female, because pretty unique experience when it comes to being a competitive gamer as a woman. In fact, a recent player for StarCraft 2, who just got bumped out of the bracket in the round of 10, was a woman from Canada. So they're there, but it's very small. So that's all the more reason why I should play it. But anyway, it's about a gamer a foreign gamer tries to make his or her way into StarCraft 2 scene in Korea. And along the way, she meets a couple of professional gamers, Accel and Jett, who are both veterans of Brood War, which is StarCraft's like much more popular but harder to get into predecessor, which came out in 1998. StarCraft 2 came out around, I am tempted to say 2015 or 2016, because that's about when this visual novel was done. But anyway, most StarCraft players tended to use Brood War as a tournament. That's pretty much how the esports scene started, was via StarCraft. And that's why a lot of Asian gamers, in particular in Korea and Japan, the scene is super huge over there compared to here in the West, where nowadays we're starting to make some steam in terms of things like Smash 4 and League of Legends. But still nothing compared to Korea. So that's why they pretty much have nerds of steel and they have competition to beat. So that's why a lot of players tend to go to South Korea to train at what they call team houses. So that way they have intense training hours, much more than the Western competition, and then learn unique movesets. So, in the last episode of this series, Mach finally gains a fourth member into the team, named Reva, who is a female gamer who could actually play all three classes in StarCraft 2, Protoss, Terran, and Zerg. But she mostly does more of a strategic, economic mission rather than the typical build up stuff and then rapidly attack later kind of thing. So she does more of the long drawn out matches, but she could do the fast stuff when she needs to. Then after that, we watched Accel's match with his team Crash, and they lost against Kane by a pretty good margin. It was like 2-4, and the coach pretty much blames him for the loss, even though he actually was the one pulling the grunt work for the team, from training to learning different types of cheeses and tricks for the day before the match, the day of. So he then quits Crash and joins up the new team as a coach rather than a player. And then all of this pretty much goes down on the news the very next day, saying that Jett somehow acted like a temptress and pulled him into the new team, even though that was totally not true. It was 100% his decision, and Jett and even Mach only suggested it, the idea, not for him to actually follow through on it. So, yeah. That's where we are right now, and we're going to continue on and see how the drama pans out. On top of that, they also have a potential sponsor in a company, an advertising firm called Enoch. And pretty much this attention is the perfect condition to sign up for sponsorship. So yeah, without further ado, here is the continuation of said drama that is SC2VN. Let's see how everybody pans out. I set these thoughts aside when Namdan Park comes into view. The crowded tree line and trimmed green is a welcome departure from Seoul's endless concrete. Ooh, this is pretty. This is a new spot. Jett didn't specify where at the park she wanted us to meet, but it doesn't take long to find her staring down a seated Accel. She's in the middle of chewing him out, though it'd be hard to tell by the grin he's wearing. Have you seen what they're saying online? The team has to stand out somehow. Better this than limping into the scene and wobbling in obscurity. We should stand up by winning games, not by stirring up stuff. This wasn't your decision to make. Hey, by the way, Accel was the one who leaked the news, not everybody else. Accel is the first to notice my arrival and waves me over. Jett's acknowledgement follows, though it's far less welcoming. And they're both veterans in the games. Accel Accel has been around since Brood War. Jett has been around since Brood War, but she didn't become a champion until StarCraft 2, so there's that. Did you know he was going to pull something like this? What? No. And they're speaking entirely in Korean, by the way. If they use English, it's going to be with carrots on the sides, but they really do that. So this conversation is taking place entirely in Korean. Relax, Jett. Seriously. Worrying will give you gray hairs. I'll relax the moment that I'm staring at a contract for 6 months of funding. Jett's stance goes rigid at the buzz of her phone. She rips it out of her pocket and stares at the screen. Who is it? Kim. He wants to meet us at the Enoch office to sort this mess. That's a good thing, right? He wouldn't bother to have us come out if the answer is going to be no. She doesn't seem to agree, given the time it takes her to reply. I share a glance at Accel. Well, I keep saying Accel when it's saying the name's Accel. I apologize. I play way too much Kingdom Hearts. I share a glance at Accel before Jett shoves the phone back into her pocket and turns to me. We need to get moving. Accel, wait for Stunt and Reva. Fine by me. Accel takes in a deep breath and returns to his bench, no doubt happy to relax while someone else handles the stress of a meeting. I'm coming with you. I'm not enough a jerk to leave Stunt and Reva alone at the park for an hour, but I need someone at my back. When you put it that way... Alright. Then come on. It's not that far. Without a moment to spare, Jett storms off. Accel offers me a leisurely wave as I hurry after her. Let me do most of the talking, but chime in if it makes sense. Alright. Nervous? No. Don't lie to me. I'm nervous. It's fine to be nervous. I'm fine. When the elevator door opens, a well-dressed Enoch employee greets us with a smile and gestures down the hall. Mr. Kim has been anticipating your arrival. This way, please. I follow Jett through a typical corporate office. Why am I so suspicious of his face? It's so... I feel weird about it. Even though I know he's like more the ambitious type, but still, he just looks like every single bad guy that I've seen in an anime ever. Like, I keep on thinking Kusaka, I keep thinking one of those bad guys from there. So it's just, I don't know why. He never raised his eyebrows once. Anyway. I follow Jett through a typical corporate office. Inside a table seats Mr. Kim, his attention set on a laptop. He glances past the screen to acknowledge us with a beckon forward. Jett, Mach, please sit. Now he raises his eyebrows, but it's not for a good reason. I don't feel good about this. We take our seats opposite him. The secretary closes the boardroom's door, leaving the three of us on our own. After a few more taps on his laptop's touchscreen, Mr. Kim turns the computer towards us and gestures sharply to it. What is this? On display is the comment section of a popular Korean esports news site. Line after line portrays Jett and Accel as shady and unskilled. Yeah, I can read the comments on here, actually. Especially if people are reading on their phones. So let me see. LOL, Jett leaves her team for a bunch of no-names. She really is washed up. I heard Accel got yelled at by his coach after last night's VSTL. They didn't show on the stream, though. Anyone confirm? Which actually did happen. That did happen. Accel was yelled at his coach for, like I mentioned earlier, he was yelled at for his coach for not getting enough victories, even though he was practically doing the grunt work for the majority of the team, and so pretty much pushed him to leave, essentially. But then this guy basically replied with, "Nah, he raged and stormed out of the booth. LOL. Apparently his attitude has been a problem for months. Guess he's gonna taking it for the fans. Literally, who is Mach? And they responded, some terrible foreigner. What a joke. Oh, okay, the text didn't reflect it, because the canon for Mach is that he's male, but I'm playing a female character. He got destroyed by Reva a few nights ago. That's the online-only hero? LMAO, he has to be a hacker. Who else just lands like that? But yeah, Reva's a woman. People were surprised by that, but yeah, Reva's a woman. And I thought the English sites were bad. Before I could read another comment, Mr. Kim forces the laptop shut with a grimace. When I spoke of interest to sponsor your team with the board, most were hesitant to take the risk even with my assurance that the investment would be worth it in the end. Given the recent developments, I'll simply have to retract my recommendation to hit my reputation. Your team has become a liability without having played a single game. He rests his finger on his brow, expression fraught. This is worse than Jett and I planned for. Do you have anything to say? This wasn't the reaction we were hoping for, but it shows that people are paying attention to us. Not all attention is created equal. What is most important is that an Enoch team has a large number of supporters, not slack-jawed or passive observers. Fans that are invested in the team's victory. You'll immediately have 5 people invested in an Enoch squad if you sign us. Through narrowed eyes, Mr. Kim shifts his eyes in my direction. Mach, I should say that you are a large part of the doubt plaguing a possible sponsorship deal. I blink once, taken aback. Me? Yeah, that's another part. Because, I mean, unfortunately, even with international players, foreigners are still considered a liability in a lot of teams like this. And because if you notice in a lot of things like Evo, even the Legends tournaments, a lot of the final players tend to be Korean and Japanese respectively. So you very rarely get foreign challengers. In fact, I think the last foreign challenger in terms of the StarCraft scene, it was between a Korean and an American. It was back in 2015. So it's been, and then before that, the last time anything like that happened was like 2005, 2006. It was a long time ago. So yeah, foreigners just not very well looked upon in the esports community, especially in the international community. Are you truly surprised? Your ability is completely unproven. While Accel and Jett may have their integrity questioned, it's you who the fans mock. If our fan base has faith in your ability to win games, then what of use are you? Then of what use are you? What? I'm a good player, I just need time to prove it. Time that you haven't earned. I hear myself tripping over my next protest. Right then, Jett cuts in. Mr. Kim, there must be something that we can do. Accel and I are high profile. Even with a rocky start, we both have loyal fans that will follow us to a new team. That may be so, but the public perception of Mach remains an issue. Isn't it worth the trouble? Is it worth the trouble keeping her on when your reputation has been compromised? He links his fingers together and glances to the two of us, awaiting an answer. Jett closes her eyes and runs her hand through her hair. She takes a long moment to decide what to say next, much to Mr. Kim's interest. Yeah, if there's one thing that he's pretty good at is looking for some sort of investment. We could arrange something to fix that. Oh? Elaborate. A show match. The perfect chance to show Mach's ability to compete. Against someone from your team, fans will assume that the match is fixed on her behalf. No, I have someone else in mind. Someone who StarCraft fans know and respect, and that Mach owes a beating. Oh, Bolt! She turns towards and locks eyes with me. Is she talking about... Yep, girl. Just talking about Bolt. A show match with Bolt? I mean... You're not allowed to turn this down. I wasn't planning on it, just... How are we going to get him to agree? I know Bolt well. He'll jump at the chance to publicly humiliate someone he doesn't like. A best of 5 will do nicely. And I think it would be fair to Enoch to put a half-month's worth of team funding in as the prize, wouldn't you say? Jett turns away from me and towards Mr. Kim. For the first time since we stepped into the room, the businessman cracks a smile. If you ever decide to leave StarCraft behind, you're welcome to interview for any open sales positions at Enoch, Jett. Very well. If Mach is victorious in this show match, I will consider your team's reputation redeemed. Don't bother asking what will happen if I lose. God, why did you just deserve this pressure? Would you mind speaking with the producers of the VSL studio to see if they would be willing to host us? A week from today is short notice, but we don't have any longer to waste. I'll have it done. You're very lucky to have someone like Jett as your team captain, Mach. When I don't respond, he smirks. Satisfied, Kim rises from his leather office chair. Jett and I quickly follow suit and exchange handshakes with him. As he meets his palm with mine, Mr. Kim leans forward and whispers to me. For the record, I would greatly prefer to see you succeed. Don't let a mistake in the next week end your career before it's begun. Nonchalantly, he parts from our group and departs the conference room with long strides. His secretary skitters after him down the hallway, leaving Jett and me to find our own way back to the elevator. Well, you came to this old Golden Zone fire looking for a chance. Now you've got one. Happy? You stuck up for me. Yeah, because the last time Jett did something like that, she just ran off and then only cared about the game first. Yes. And? I guess I thought that you'd have done what was best for the team. Who said I'm not? Mr. Kim? I don't recall putting him in charge of team management. What kind of team captain would I be if I tossed you out onto the street after recruiting Stunt and Reva? I don't know. You said yourself that you wouldn't put the goals of a friendship ahead of the goals of your team. Oh, in that case, it's not too late for me to go tell Mr. Kim I've changed my mind. If you insist paying me back, do so by practicing hard and beating the heck out of Bolt. It's been way too long since I've seen him lose in person. And for the record, I know what I said. But the more I think about it, the more messed up it seems that we'd waste our careers with people we hate. So, for now, I decided that I like you. Don't make me regret that. So much for cold efficiency. And I'll do my best. As expected of anyone that wears my team's colors. Now come on, before someone mistakes Accel for a bum. Just before the elevator doors close, Mr. Kim turns the corner of his office and watches us go. Dang! My legs are sore by the time I make it back to Namdan. Weeks of huddling up in my apartment obviously hasn't been great for my personal fitness. You think? I catch a sight of Stunt by his wild hair. He's the first to notice Jett and me and calls us with a wave. Yo! Is the team dead? Not yet. Not for a while if our plan works out. Accel sits up from his reclined position, while Reva has hardly moved at all since she came into view. Plan? Mach is going to win a show match. Reva takes hold of her glasses, gears visibly turning in her head as she works at the point of a show match. Accel and Stunt simply look to me for the answer. Mr. Kim agreed to sponsor us so we can redeem the team's image. I have to win a series against Bolt. Bolt? That surly Protoss on Shock? He's a Brood War player, though. He plays Star 2 in his own time. With money and the chance to embarrass a foreigner on the line, he has to accept. And you're okay with this, Mach? Accel glances in my direction, genuine concern etched in his expression. He seems to be picking up on the doubt I'm feeling. Yeah, of course, I mean, I'm gonna practice as hard as I can for the next week. As will Bolt. I don't have anything to say to that. She's right, after all. The 5 of us take a moment to reflect on the severity of the situation. Gradually, I find the eyes of my teammates drifting towards me. I wipe the sweat from my neck and steady myself with the breath. I'm sure that I can handle this, but not all on my own. Obviously! Listen, if he's a Protoss, I'm down to grind endless games. You and me, Mach. Both play us more depth than proxies and one base Solins. Do you have a better idea? What the hell would you get out of practicing with a Terran or a Zerg? Stunt pulls out his phone and does a stubborn expression. Jett rolls her eyes and glances past him. Everyone has a role to play and make sure this team moves on past the botched show match. Stunt may... She winces and then glances begrudgingly in the young Protoss' direction. Being the only one of us that plays Protoss enough to spar with Mach, but this is still a group effort. Accel, you gotta test out your coaching chops. He raised his thumb without bothering to stand. You know it. Reva, work with Mach on openings and strategies, and I'll see what I can do to get my hands on a few of Bolt's replays. Affirmative. We don't have much time to waste. Bolt's going to be preparing for this match with the KPGA regimen. Think you can handle 14 hours a day, Mach? Which is the average that a Korean professional player plays. So, yeah. And it's 24 hours a day, so that means, like, you only have, like, 10 hours to do everything else. I don't need to practice long, I just need to practice smart. You need to do both. Yeah, she's right. It's only for a week anyway. The idea of 14 hours of high-level StarCraft is enough to make a wrist sore. Still, I have to live up to my team's expectations. Alright. Do we start tonight? Obviously. Jett stares enough to get him to spit it out. I kinda, maybe, sorta promised my mom that I would make up all the chores I've been skipping out on at our PC bong. Look, I thought this team was definitely over, okay? We're StarCraft players. Don't pretend you guys don't know the importance of time efficiency. I need to start smoothing things over with her if I'm going to move out. Come on. Don't look at me like that. Yeah, Stunt's middle schooler in case you couldn't tell. Useless. Whatever. We'll meet you up at Golden Zone Fire tomorrow and every day after that up until the show match. Mach, just ladder tonight. Right. Reva, you free? Yes. Why do you ask? Go with Mach and watch her ladder for the rest of the day. See if you can pick up any holes in her play. Very well. I gotta go confirm with the schedule with Bull, among other things. With me, Accel. Should have guessed. Right then. Stunt, go handle your BS. Golden Zone Fire tomorrow morning. Go. Everyone, go. Accel peels himself out of the bench and falls in line beside Jett. Stunt is quick to follow, but he turns out of the park in a different direction. I was actually planning on going back to my apartment. If I'm just going to ladder... Oh, should I return home? No, why don't you meet me there in an hour? You won't need to stay too long. Very well. I'll see you in an hour. After sharing the location of my apartment with a map from my phone, I bid her farewell. Reva fades along with Green of Namdam when I trace back the path I took this morning. My glazed over eyes remain locked with the pavement as I amble my way home. I know I should feel relieved that our team still has a chance of coming together, but I can't help but worry. I'm not carrying around the weight of my failed attempts to qualify for the VSL anymore. This is different. It's anxiety. A tightness in my chest that threatens to strangle me if I let everyone down. I don't know what I expected. It's not like it's going to get easier from here anyway. Every week in Team League, there will be a chance to cost my team a loss. More than anything else, I'm frustrated by Mr. Kim's doubt. It's one thing for my friends and parents to misunderstand me, but Mr. Kim made an informed judgment I'm not worth the trouble. I jam my fists into my pockets and exhale deeply. If I ever doubted that esports is brutal, I don't any longer. Short as the walk is, I don't find my nerves calming as I settle into my pace. A pack of energy drinks might help me douse my angst, so I decided to cut a detour that'll take me past Go Mart. I should probably pick up something for Reva too. It'd be a pretty classless move to make her watch me grind out ladder games without offering anything in return. My older brother used to always make me watch him play games back when we were kids. This is different, though. She's not watching me for fun. She's watching to tell me how badly I suck. I brush past another customer on my way into Go Mart and glance towards the register. Mr. Yun smiles in my direction, but then immediately walks into the store's back room. I don't waste time browsing and head straight for the refrigerators. By the time I'm done shopping, Mr. Yun comes out from the black room with the brown bucks in hand and makes his way back to the register. I set my bottles and cans down on the counter and offer the old man a nod. Hello, this is all for today. In a rush, are we? Not really. Why? With word that I won't run off, Mr. Yun smiles wide and hoists the box up onto the counter, pushing aside my drinks in the process. I blink dumbfounded, but before I can ask what he's doing, he clicks open a latch and feels a wooden board on the underside of the box's lid. He flips it up and sets the box between us into place where a customer might expect to have their groceries rung up. A cloth sack rests beside the game board. Is this Go? The contents of which clock against one another and the counter. He pulls an object out of the bag and shows it to me. Have you ever played Go? Oh! Go, huh? It's a board game that's mostly played in Asia, held in esteem similar to chess. Without meaning to, I asked the first question on my mind. Is this because I told you about my pro gaming career? Let's just say I won't be showing it to you if you didn't. We'll go over the rules and play around. Just one, and my win will be satisfied. Alright. This is strange. But if I want to keep shopping at Go Mart, turn down Mr. Young to make our future interactions uncomfortable. Better for one extremely awkward game of Go than an infinite amount of semi-awkward trips to the convenience store. Oh, we get to see a perspective here. Nice. Mr. Young pours the contents of the bag into a pair of wooden cups set beside the board. On closer inspection, they appear to be worn and scratched up. The board itself isn't in great condition either. The corners are chipped and its lacquer is long faded. Even though I've never played, I'm familiar with the premise of Go. Mr. Young explains the basic rules thoroughly either way. The main objective is to control and capture space by surrounding your opponent's pieces. It's not unlike StarCraft in that sense, only there's no advantage in quick figures. Even if I'm aware of the basics, I don't have the faintest clue about the game's strategy. What is it supposed to accomplish? Once Mr. Yoda is finished explaining the rules, he motions towards my stones. Black takes the first move, and begin whenever you're ready. Okay. For the record, I have no idea what I'm doing here. That's alright, just play on instinct. It's hard to hide the confusion I'm feeling, but I agree and shuffle a handful of black stones in my direction anyway. If the point of Go is to control space, it seems like a good idea to form some sort of basic structure that I could play off of later. But not 5 turns into the game, Mr. Young begins placing his pieces dangerously close to mine. When I look up from the board, he answers me only with a smile. Soon he begins capturing my stones with relentless efficiency, never allowing me to challenge a position where I'm so focused on protecting my own. I fight back to defend my territory, but the clerk's plan is always a step ahead. I fix the board with an intense stare, certain that I could somehow unlock the intricacies of Go by demanding it of myself. When the board is halfway full, it becomes readily apparent that I'm going to lose. Mr. Young glances up from the board with a raised eyebrow, smile ever present. Would you care to stop? I don't mean to keep you for too long. No, it's fine. Let's finish. After turning on the chance to concede, it feels appropriate that it somehow staged an amazing comeback. But the beatdown only continues. Towards the end of the match, Mr. Young manages to capture more than half my stones in a single move. My displeasure makes it apparent with a groan. I deliver my last few turns to the board hard enough to echo a clack throughout the store. Mr. Young scratches his chin casually, scanning the carnage he's wrought upon my pieces. I don't see any possible moves. I pass. And I pass too. That means the game is over, right? That is correct. I release the breath I've been holding in, relieved. I'm so glad to live in an era where video games exist. You and me both. The old man replaces his go set in the bag and box and clears the counter of our diversion. Yet instead of reaching for my drinks to scan, he sets his eyes on me. You play to avoid losing. I feel a frown on my face. Why exactly am I getting a lesson on an Eastern board game from a cashier? I don't say anything, so he continues. Specifically, you play to avoid the pain of a loss. It's clear to see when you have no learned habits or memorized strategies. There's something inherently wrong with playing that way. We should be aware of the fact. I'm a firm believer that games showcase personality in its purest form. Was this whole thing just an excuse to share some wisdom you couldn't think of any other way to bring up? I said that with way more disrespect than I should have. Nevertheless, Mr. Yuan's slight smile doesn't falter. Perhaps. Or perhaps I'm just looking for a conversation. You didn't quit when I gave you the chance. That's good. We can only go so far without playing for the win. StarCraft isn't so different from Go. I know that because life isn't so different from Go. Strive to win, Mach. Not to not lose. I don't understand. Try to. It's an important lesson. A serious glint flickers across Mr. Yun's face for a fraction of a second. When it's gone, he looks no different than before. There's no one else that moves these drinks off the shelf like you. I'm incentivized to have you succeed and stick around, you see. He lets out a laugh, one that continues only until I smile politely in response. When he's done, Mr. Yun rinses up my drinks and hurries them into a bag. Right, off you go. I won't ask you to play again with me. Unless you'd like to. Alright. I lower my head in a bow. Not the type reserved for a venerable elder, but at least one show that I'm thankful. The door rings when I hurry through it, leaving Mr. Yun to endure the sickly linoleum of the store alone. In a roundabout way, I think Mr. Yun's little diversion might actually help. It's nice to know that he cares enough about me to offer advice, even if it's just because I shop at his store. Whether or not that business about Go and not losing is true remains to be seen. Is the diversion of losing really that ingrained in my DNA? Go, Mart. Huh. Alright, Mr. Yun. I admit that's pretty clever. It seems much darker than outside than it was when I came into the store. I reached to check the time and on... Oh, man! I have half a dozen missed calls from Reva. Did that Go match seriously take more than an hour? An urgent need to get back to my apartment replaces my thoughts of Mr. Yon and board games. I wade through a pedestrian as best I can while simultaneously texting an apology to Reva. My feet carry me as fast as they can. If I ever got tired of waiting in front of my door and left, I'm screwed. I pep my way up the apartment stairs and pause in the hallway to find that she isn't there. Frustrated, I sigh and force open my door. I'm dead. I'm so dead. Why didn't I keep track of the time? Why now? When so much is on the line? As I rack my brain for an excuse that I could offer Jett, I look up to find that my apartment is already occupied. You are late. I knew it! She rises from my seat on the bed and points at the computer. Ladder. How are you in my room? The door was not locked. I let myself in when you failed to answer my calls. You just came in? Yes. You know, so if it were any other country, Reva, it would be intrusion. Just like a home invasion, just saying. Dang, my title was way too apt. I just named the drama as Over 9,000! Just for the sake of just being a parody, because I knew everything's gonna ramp up here, but I didn't think it was actually gonna be this dramatic, peeps. So, this is a total coinkydink here. My breathing calms, my panic subsides. I forgot to lock my door, huh? I guess this is better than showing up to find my computer missing. Yeah. And again, it's Korea. Like the crime is a bit lower in terms of like theft, so not too bad. Right. Okay. Sorry. I got caught up with some old guy here. With a rustle. It's a monster parody. Or a monster ripoff in this case, considering it's Korean convenience store. But go figure. With a rustle, I reach into the bag and carry and hand a drink to Reva. Caught up? Reva takes my offering without so much as looking at it. Oh, it also matched her outfit too. I didn't notice that until now. Whether or not she's actually going to drink it, it's not my due diligence as a host. It's hard to explain. You do not extend. It's not like that, Reva. Oh my god. She is such a hikikomori. You do not need to explain your relationship with an old man if you would rather not. Even though I'm pretty sure it's a joke, Reva does not smile to show it. I offer a nervous laugh and fall into my computer chair, trying to move on from the topic of my tardiness. So, right, ladder. Is there something you think I need to practice? You want to match against Protoss players only. Quit the match to your opponent is a Terran or a Zerg. Wait, but my ranking! With a few keystrokes, I display my proudly earned Grandmaster badge, completely by rank in the double digits. If at least 2/3 of my games tonight, I'm gonna lose a bunch of ladder points. Are your ladder points really that important? Absolutely. Well... Without a word, Reva takes the mouse from me and logs out of StarCraft 2. Her fingers dance across the keyboard, and a second later we're logged into a barcode account. The Grandmaster badge accompanied Reva's anonymous usernames ranked even higher than mine. Play on this one then. I do not care about ladder rank, and neither should you. I scratch behind my head and have the sense to look embarrassed. She's right. It's pretty dumb for me to worry about ladder rank at a time like this. With a nod and a click, I search for my first match of the night. It takes a handful of games before I finally matched up against a Protoss. Ugh, it's got one of those weird names with a random capitalization. Reva sits just over my shoulder from the edge of my bed, eyes fast on the monitor. Your APM is low. I wince and respond with a flurry of unnecessary keystrokes. I've never cracked 300 APM, even when I'm focused on doing so. APM is actions per minute. A minute or two passes without comment, though it's hard to tell whether or not that means she thinks I'm playing well. Your engineering bays are late. Are they? They are, damn it! I whip my mouse hard, box a pair of SCVs, and slam down 2 delayed structures. I check his army composition with the scan and decide I'm ready to challenge him. Delayed upgrades or no, I managed to keep a close enough eye on my opponent's tech that massive swell of Vikings the time his Colossus come into play. His army gets caught in an awkward position when he tries to establish his third base, allowing me to power forward into his base. It's a win I normally celebrate with a self-assured smile. With Reva over my shoulder, I'm forced to feign humility in my victory, and turn towards her and motion towards the screen. Well, what do you think? She adjusts her glasses and purses her lips, taking a long moment to decide on her response. He was bad, but he capitalized on his mistakes, so I have no major complaint. A good player won't let you obtain free information. Use your scans wisely. I thought I used them pretty well, didn't I? Scouting is one of the things I'm best at. Not particularly, and should always aim to be even better. I grumble and turn to queue up another game. Yeah, another thing to focus on, I guess. Yeah, and that's how it goes. If you want to improve your game, you gotta make sure you don't rest completely on your laurels, Mach. You gotta make sure you always be better, even if you happen to master one thing. Like, I'm a pro at Farah, but even I know, like on Overwatch, but even I know that there's things that I know I can improve on when it comes to playing the game. And for those just jumping on, welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying it. I had thought that Reva's low-key attitude might have made her a little bit lenient with my mistakes, but she's not all that different from Jett, minus how she delivers her criticism. My next match is on the largest map in the current ladder pool. I have a pretty easy time defending my expansions with the way that the map's choke points are constructed. Rather than poke and prod with Marines or go for an early aggression, I threw down a quick third base in a far-flung corner of the map shortly after I began my natural expansion. Pulling off this kind of tactic is incredibly rewarding. If it goes unscouted, the way she creeped in! I'm practically guaranteed to win. Why are you doing that? Practice something useful. I shift my gaze. Like, the way she creeped in! Oh my god. She is such a homebody, it's ridiculous. I shift my gaze aside to find Reva uncomfortably close to both me and the monitor. What if I decided to hide an expansion against Bull? Are you going to risk the team on a coin flip? Cancel it and aim for a long game. Reva offered the device too far to recall a suggestion, and I find myself moving the mouse to do as instructed. This gap is going to set me far back a fair bit. I gear up for a drawn-out match focusing on my upgrades and base defense. It's not long before my Protoss opponent and I had split the map in half in our jockeying position. Build more defenses. You can afford a dozen planetary fortresses. Is that really necessary? Mach, your opponent is Protoss. Protoss player will stop at nothing to cheat an honest Terran out of an earned win. Funny. I typically image balance wires as loud as obnoxious in real life. I wonder if she quit playing random out of guilt. Still, I oblige her and cram space static defense structures as I can to a vital choke point. There's an observer over your army. I squint to find she's right. Damn! How did I not catch that earlier? With a scan, I picked the Protoss scout and repositioned my units. It takes a few minutes to adjust my army composition to one that better suits the extreme late game, but I'm soon ready to clash with my opponent. At this point, StarCraft becomes less about strategy and more about patience. It's important to know when to stalk and when to pounce. I sensed an opening at last and rushed to my opponent's weak flank. Out of my corner of my eye, I could see Reva's tensing up. Invest as much as I can in the outcome of the battle. I try as I might. My snipes so connected to the High Templar scattered among the Protoss army. He drowns out my units in Psystorm and steamrolls down the center of the map, destroying my constructed defenses along the way. I struggle pointlessly to counter with a counter-offensive, but the damage is done. I'm forced to tap out a GG and quit the match with a huff. He controlled his army better than you did. I spin in my chair to face Reva with a frown. If he did it, I would have won. Ugh, that was so close. Yes, it was. I wish Chicken could see to a point where to my credit when it's deserved. Damn, that match took a while. As long as Gold Mr. Young, if not longer. What time do you need to leave? Are you throwing me out? What? No! I'm just saying if you need to be home at a certain time, let me know. I do not. Okay. Sheesh, why does talking to her feel so unnatural? This has to be intentional on her part. I need a break. Your opponents will use every wasted moment to become better than you. Breaks are dangerous. Just a short one. I'm thirsty anyway. We're back on the ladder with a vengeance afterwards. Thirsty. I see. My fist clenched and voluntarily reached for a can, really forcing me to knock it over. I offer Reva an exhausted look before cracking open my drink. Not to be outdone, I take a poised sip before glancing casually in her direction. So, why do you pretend to be a guy on the internet? Now it's Reva's turn to tense up. Her face contorts, eyes glazing over as if scanning her internal database for a scathing comeback. Isn't it obvious why she pretends to be a guy on the internet? It's because most people don't believe that she can do it. It's ridiculous that we still have that obtuse viewpoint even now in 2017. 404. Comeback not found. I do no such thing. Details about my private life are kept so private. Others simply assume. Well, that's all going to come to an end if we're going to be on Team Enoch, isn't it? I suppose. Excited about living in a team house? As long as it's being paid for, yes. And if for the esports money, I see. Of course. Since primary school, I've trained up for my own bunk bed and 3 cup noodles. It's just way too much fun reading in Reva's voice. Oh my god. But I don't blame him that, though. 3 cup noodles and a free house would be awesome. Reva is refreshingly realistic about pro gamer living conditions. Maybe she could talk some sense in Stunt. To be frank, anything is better than life back at home. Oh. Trouble with your parents? No. My parents worked hard to give me the opportunities they never had, and for that I will always be grateful. But I live far from Seoul, so I was isolated from my friends for most of my life. You mean your online friends? Yes, but now I have a chance to make my own way. I take pride in the fact that I've turned my skills into a living, no matter how meager. You should be. Most people living off of StarCraft can do it with the support of a team, but you managed to do that on your own. You have the right to be proud. Maybe. But sometimes, though I am happy with my accomplishments, I lack the confidence to devote more of myself to this game. Really? I wouldn't have expected to hear something like that from you. Why? I don't know. You seem like the resolute type. No regrets, that sort of thing. I'm bad at putting into words my impression of Reva, but she seems to understand what I mean by the nod she offers. You are correct that I always give full effort to my pursuits. However, that is not a matter of regret. Normally I could be satisfied even in failure if I have done my best. But what if the task was not worth working towards in the first place? What do you mean? Esports is like anything else, isn't it? It's a climb to the top. It is, but StarCraft is inherently less valuable than most other things. Art, athletics, education, science, a corporate career. Objectively, my time is better spent at almost anything other than pro gaming. But I do not believe that I could truly distinguish myself in any of those things, while it is possible as a pro gamer. I was born in the right country, I am the correct age, and I have enough required talent. Well, there is Ham, who was in his 30s and he really got into, he was like 28 when he got into the gaming scene. And he actually was in a very similar situation to Mach, even though he's not a foreigner, age bracket wise, he was very way up there. But he persisted and eventually helped his team win first place. And now he is a coach for a Chinese team. So, yeah, that's why I say it's never too late to do stuff like this, but it's a hard road, so I won't deny it. Even then, it is not logical for me to spend so much time and effort in which should statistically prove unrewarding. yet I cannot bring myself to turn down the chance to compete. I have the same drive, so I can at least understand that, but you really want to do something if you can't be the best at it? And the way you talk about your motivation. Do you even like StarCraft? No, I don't. She answers bluntly and then looks away. I have nothing to say to that. High-level StarCraft isn't always fun in the traditional sense of the word, but it sounds like Reva genuinely doesn't enjoy the game. For her to be as good as she is without holding her back is harder to understand. StarCraft's greatest players may have always credited their love of the game as a major factor to success. How far can she hope to go without that advantage? With silence filling the space between us, Reva takes the opportunity to try out the drink I brought for her. On the first taste, she screws her face up and hurries to set it down. How can you stand something so sugary? I shrug since I don't have the answer. It's not like I can explain why something tastes good. Where are you living if not with your parents? Do you know where the Goshiwan is? This I actually don't, so it'd be nice to figure out what this is. No way. Really? That's a term that showed up in one of my online lessons. If I remember correctly, it's an absurdly tiny type of apartment. Literally the size of a closet, with a low price to match. Oh my god. That's like maybe like half the size of my room. That's really tiny. I live on the edge of Seoul, so rent is inexpensive. I pay with my winnings from online tournaments. Matches of the last week of every month if I have not yet hit my quota can be very stressful. That has been my life since I graduated from high school. Damn! You don't mind the lack of space? I do. I am enjoying the chance to stretch while it lasts. She demonstrates by falling back on my bed and fully extending her legs. I shake my head and try not to laugh. It'll last. The team house will be a nice upgrade for the both of us. Reva sits up and rests her arms on her knees. Break time is over. Return to the ladder. Alright. I spin my chair back towards my computer and resume my training. The blue light from my computer monitor shines in Reva's glasses. Her advice and my grumbling all that is said between us. The matches bleed into each other, one foe falling after another. I'm in a Protoss slaying groove. Reva goes quiet in the middle of a particularly intense game, leaving only the sounds of my keyboard and mouse clicks to mingle with the game sounds blasting from my headphones. I manage to prolong my win streak with a multi-pronged attack that forces my opponent to tap out. With a triumphant grin, I push off the desk and turn. Boom! 3 and a... And find that Reva has fallen asleep on duty. She is human, girl, so... Oh, but hey, at least you're getting better, Mach, so that's way better than the beginning of the game when you had no idea what you were doing. Well, that explains why she didn't point out that my dropships were delayed. Is it really that late? I rest my head against my cheek. Should I wake her up and tell her to go home? She looks too peaceful for me to do that on good conscience. I could just sleep on the floor, I guess. I bunch up a hoodie from my dresser into a makeshift pillow and ease myself into the space under my desk. The ground isn't exactly comfortable, but with enough shifting around, I find a decent spot. Not long after, my eyelids grow heavy, and sleep claims me. Aww, we got character development. That's sweet. I'm on the floor. Why am I on the floor? The trash in my desk is gone and my bed is made. Right, Reva. When I stand, an ache in my back forces me to wince. It's nothing serious, but I must have turned over my sleep onto a weird angle. A text message from Reva awaits me when I check my phone for the time. She borrowed some of my clean clothes? Really? Well, at least she admitted it. The week ahead is going to be tough. 6 days probably isn't enough time to make any sort of serious breakthrough in terms of my mechanics or game sense. But it's long enough to craft a game plan that might edge out Bolt. The biggest issue with the matchup is that I have no idea what to expect from him. How does a Brood War player go about learning StarCraft 2? Maybe I should ask Jett or Accel. Whatever the case, the team is probably waiting for me at Golden Zone Fire. I should hurry over. By noon, my wrists are sore from a morning of anti-rush defense. Without anything specific to practice against, Stunt spammed me with the game after game of proxy gates, cannon rushes, and one-base all-ins. I feel prepared in the incredibly likely case that Bolt risks the match in something like a 2-gate. Stunt's a one-note Protoss, but he plays that note pretty damn well. Can he try something else for a change? My brain is starting to fry. Heh, I'm not even warmed up yet. You're only able to defend against these builds because you're expecting them. Obviously, the point of a cheese is to catch the opponent off guard. What's the point of cheesing when it's literally all you can do? You don't understand. Cheesing is an art that I'll be the first to master. Seriously though, Mach needs to prepare for more than just your one-base all-ins. Try playing standard for a change. Fine. Just then, Jett steps through the doors of Golden Zone Fire at a fierce pace, saving me from more Stunt's abusive builds. But the relief I feel at her arrival shatters when I catch the figure at her heels. Oh no! Already? No! It hasn't even been a week! Are you kidding me? Before I can form a question at Bolt's presence, both he and Jett are standing before us. She shoots an annoying glance at him before speaking. He insisted on speaking with you before he would agree to play. Bolt lifts his chin at me, savoring the moment. He's trying to catch us off guard! I know what he's doing! Savoring the moment. I need something from him. A show match. And he's well aware of the power it grants him. So, Mach, still desperate to make a name for yourself. I matches Luke's expression with a hard one, determined to show that he can't intimidate me. You do that, Mach. You go for that. Our sponsor needs a demonstration of the team's potential. It's not about me. Don't kid yourself. It's all about you. You're facing Jett, Accel, or one of the wannabe dishwashers you managed to clown into signing if he wasn't. Do you think I haven't read what they're saying online? I draw in a sharp breath, to Bolt's amusement. He shakes out his wrist and ups a shrug. I normally have better things to do than plan a show match in a lesser game. But hey, you caught me at a good time. My next Brood War match is for a few weeks. Got just enough time to brush from my SC2 and ship you back across the Pacific. Did you know that my team manager wouldn't even let me play Star 2 in his shock team house? I say it's distracting to the other players. I reach for another calming breath, but find no relief. It's that smile of his. What? You came here to talk some trash? Quit wasting my time and accept the match. I accept. And I'll do you one better than you do me. Catch. Bolt pulls something out of his pocket and tosses it at me. My reflexes don't fail me and I snag the small black object in midair. When I open my hand, I find a thumb drive. What? 50 replays. Study them all you like. You'll have no excuse when you lose. By the way, Jett, let me give you a tip. Next time you go behind my back for replays, don't try to get them from someone that shares my feelings and your opponent be opportunist BS. Your foreigner mascot is lucky that I'm feeling generous. An infuriating... Oh! With infuriating air of superiority, Bolt turns to leave. My teammates visibly share my frustration, but none of them rush to my defense. Seriously? If this were an American esports team, they probably would be rushing to her, like, no problem. But these guys only care about is the game, and let the dignity speak for themselves. So actually, silence may be the more powerful thing. It's kind of interesting, actually. Maybe it's for a good reason. I can't keep relying on Jett or Accel to bail me out of trouble. That is true too, Mach. Beating Bolt isn't their responsibility. It's mine. Hey, Bolt! He turns while surprise showing on his face, and I flick the thumb drive out of my hand at his feet. I won't lose to you again. Remember it. Tell yourself that. He shows his teeth in a smirk and crushes the flash drive under his heel. Just like you told yourself you could qualify for VSL. Bits of plastic and metal are all that remains of the USB when he lifts his foot to continue on his way out. The tension remains long after Bolt's departure. Finally, Jett enters my personal space, eyes sharp and locked with mine. Why'd you do that? We needed his replays. Accel steps forward and places a hand on Jett's shoulder. Bolt was trying to get into Mach's head. You know that, Jett. It was the right call. Dang! He really didn't feel like leaning over to pick it up, huh? Those things are like 10,000 won. The quip earns him a perplexed stare from Accel and Jett. I'm too distracted to even react. Whatever, Mach. If you're gonna be showy, save it for when you'll gain you some fans. This gives me an idea of ceremony to beat this guy. Get like 10 flash drives and... Hey, Stunt, I got a better idea for the ceremony. We sign a contract with Enoch and move into our team house. How's that sound? That's not as funny as what I had in mind. Enough banter. Get back to practicing. Can we take a break or something? I need a minute. We don't have a minute, especially without replays. Practice now. I quietly follow Stunt's lead back towards the PCs. Accel and Jett move in and take their seats behind us. From the top, and no rushes, Stunt. I have absolutely no clue how anyone could practice for more than 10 hours a day. My wrists ache, my eyes hurt. My subconscious won't consider anything but unit compositions and attack timings. I can't get Bolt's stupid smirk out of my head. Worse still, with Jett forcing Stunt to play standard, our practice wasn't productive at all. She didn't seem happy with me when she left to meet with the producers of the VSL studio. But after so many games, it becomes impossible for me to focus. What else are we supposed to do? Reva doesn't seem like she's in practice for any race but Terran. Do I even have a chance against Bolt? Did I ever in the first place? Dude, how does anyone macro? It's boring, exhausting, and makes you consider a zillion variables. Economy management is so stupid. You just described what StarCraft is supposed to be, minus the boring part. Well, I don't like it. I'm at my best when I can focus microing. Who says I should play a game past the 10-minute mark? No one. As long as you're okay with an awful win rate. With practice done for the day, I agreed to join Accel and Stunt for dinner, while Jett deals with logistics and setup of the match. I'm led down a smoky side street with greasy and fragrant smells mingle. My experience with street food so far hasn't been great, but I trust judgment of Stunt and Accel. Row after row of stalls are thick with customers clamoring a hot meal. The three of us browse the various offerings before Stunt insists on one in particular. Do you like Vinde Talk Mach? Sure, yeah, whatever's fine. The single cook manning the stall cleaves through customer orders faster than I think possible. It isn't long before we walk away from the stall, paper wrapped pancake in hand. We settled for a seat on the curb, far enough away from the foot traffic to avoid being trampled. Reva's going to run into trouble with Jett if she doesn't show up Golden Zone Fire again this week. She can only help Mach so much. Besides, it's not like she could skip out on practice at the team house. Have you ever been inside a team house, Stunt? The Protoss forces down his food with a thump to the chest. No, but I've seen pictures. It's in a formal setting. It isn't hard to sleep in or slack off, but the type of people who do that usually don't become pro gamers. Or, at the least, don't last long as one. We still don't have any subs. Isn't that going to be a problem? Let's worry about one thing at a time. There won't be much need for subs if we don't do our best this week. Still, the team is tiny. 5 people including management? Jett wasn't kidding when she said she wanted a lean team. That sudden thought of Team Goshiwan is almost enough to make me smile. Yo, Accel! What'd you do with all that your prize money from Brood War? That's kind of a personal question, isn't it? I don't mind answering. I spent about half of it on general living, expenses, and stuff for my family. The rest I've got saved. Lame! What's the point of winning so you don't spend them? I've earned 40 million won or so, not counting salary. It might sound like a lot, but it's easy to go through if you aren't responsible. Deaf to sense Accel is trying to talk into him. Stunt stares off into space with stars in his eyes. If I won VSL Grand Final, I'd buy a car, a house, a new PC. He continues rounding off a list of dozens of superfluous objects in the way only someone who's lived without worrying about paying rent can. Accel and I both take a chance to eat without interruption. Judge still got 100 million won from the first VSL championship, yeah? That plus some, probably. Why? I wonder if I can convince her to check out the team house. Feel free to ask, just make sure I'm there for her reaction. Promise to be like, no, we're keeping it simple. We're the military. What about you, Mach? What would you do with your big winnings? I don't know. Save it or something. God, the chicks that are on our team are all so boring. Don't forget, all the time you spend climbing StarCraft's ladder, someone else spends climbing the corporate ladder. If you're only in esports for the money, just get a real job. Psh, it's no big deal. After I make it big as the next Protoss Bundra, I'll just get a job as a coach or a team owner. I've got it all planned out. There was no convincing Stunt in this rage. Great. Not that I could blame him. I wasn't any more responsible when I was his age. By the final bite, what's left of my Binduck talk is spilling more than grease on a napkin. I'm joined by my teammates and I move to toss away the trash. Heading home, Mach? Yeah, get a ladder for a bit and then sleep. Gotcha. I'll be at the cafe by 10. Don't be late. Don't we have anything better to do? The three of us turned separate ways out of the alley. I endure the walk back to my apartment in silence. Oh, got 3 viewers. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, everybody. And then I'm gonna jump on. Let's see how I can jump on this. Yeah, welcome to the stream, everybody. Thank you so much for watching forward. So, in case you guys just jumped in, yeah, Mach is basically has to do an exhibition match to show that she has developed enough skills to be able to sign on to Team Enoch. So, she's got a little obstacle. She's got to first show her skills, and then she's got to prepare for Team VSL in order to be able to finally get the esports dream fulfilled. So yeah, there's all that going on. I'm doing a lot of laundry today. It's laundry day, so I got a lot of stuff I need to get out of the dryer pretty soon, actually. I stare at my cell phone, the light coming from its screen bright enough to make my eyes glaze. Then it goes dark, and I slide my thumb over the screen to wake it. I've repeated this ritual 4 times now. My head falls back against the chair, and I close my eyes. Why do I feel like this? It's been almost 2 weeks since I last spoke with my parents. Admittedly, I've been busy with StarCraft about Accel and Jett, but I'm still overdue for a call. My finger hovers over the contact number. Before it could fall to dial them, the phone escapes my hand and falls back onto the desk. Does it really matter? I don't have much to say. Hi, Mom. Is Dad there? Yes, everything's fine. No, I'm not dead. No, I haven't given up yet. Telling them about the team might be for nothing. They'll pretend to share my happiness in a victory, but there's always an underlying cynicism to every congratulation from them. A win isn't a win. It's another crumb leading me to chase the pointless esports dream and away from the life they think I should be living. It feels wrong to be cross with them. They raised me, paid for my existence. I've been angry to ask for more. And yet I do. I want them to accept my goals for what they are. To hope for more than I'll grow out of StarCraft. It's the same with my friends from high school. They pretend not to, but I know they look down on me. It's a video game. Why do you care so much? Do something you're better suited for. When it's right to give up on a dream? When is it right to give up on a dream? How many failures does it take before you say, alright, I'm done trying. I'll just take up a job at the family business. If I lose to Bolt, should I quit StarCraft? Would it be nothing but pride to continue on? Even if I win, what then? What if the team does poorly? What if the team does well, but I hold them back? Will StarCraft 2 even last as long as Brood War? What if there isn't any prospect left in the scene in a year from now? What if I start to hate the game? It's wrong to think this way before such a high-stakes match, but I can't help it. I know what matters and I know what I have to do. Why can't I just do it? I carry myself onto the bed and bury my face in my pillow. Somehow, I think I'm finally starting to understand what Mr. Yun was saying. I'm awake. I've been awake, actually, but I don't feel like getting up. I tell myself to for the 3rd time, but I don't. You have to practice. I don't feel like practicing. Hurry, get up. The team is waiting for you. I just want to lie here, though. Can't I just do that? No. I'm probably sick from the street food. I'm just gonna lie here until I feel better. You aren't sick. Get up. Not now. Soon, though. Don't you want to be Bolt? That guy's a total prick. If you don't practice, he'll beat you and you'll feel terrible. I already feel terrible, though. I'm just gonna lay here. Get up. 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 I love the text spam. The sound of repeated, unrelenting knocks wakes me. I glance at my phone and answer my immediate question. It's 2 p.m. I stumble my way to my door and glance at the peephole into the hallway. It's Jett. She doesn't look happy. I turn the knob and crack the door open, offering no resistance when she forces it the rest of the way open. She glances over me, not bothering to veil the disgust in her expression. What are you doing? The entire team has been waiting for you to show up. Her tone demands an answer, and I rush to oblige with an excuse. I don't feel well. You look fine. Get dressed and get your ass to Golden Stonefire. I run a hand through my matted hair and glance away. Jett's palm cracks against the left side of my face. I call it a mixture of pain and shock and try to step back. Physical abuse! Instead, Jett catches me by my shirt and pulls me forward, visibly restraining herself from bringing the back of her hand across my other cheek. I gasp for breath. Yeah, that's abuse! Come on! fact that she did so hard to bruise her. Even though it's out of love, it's that's... Number one thing, if you're a coach, do not do that. Seriously, do not do that. If it's out of love, do not do that. I gasped for breath and bring a hand to where she struck me. Her eyes, hard and determined, refused to leave mine. Why did you do that? Why are you here, Mach? Why did you come to Korea? What? To play StarCraft? You already know the answer. No, you didn't. You have some natural talent for StarCraft, but you didn't come here to make use of it. What on earth is she talking about? I feel my voice harden in my throat when I argue back. You just hit me for nothing! I came to Korea because I want to play in the VSL, because I want to be a champion. You can't drag down your sorry ass out of bed to prep for a show match the entire team is counting on you to win. Stop lying to yourself. Or at the very least, stop lying to me. I put a lot of trust in you, Mach. I honestly hope that you'd prove what it takes to make something of yourself. But you clearly don't. You quit when it gets hard and your minor accomplishments will fuel the lie you're capable of something great without putting in the work. The ferocity in Jett's eyes dies out as she weakens her vice under my undershirt. I stumble back, clutching at the wall to keep from falling over. You have less than a week to pretend that you care about what happens to yourself and to this team. If you can't do that for your own sake, then do it for ours. Drama over 9,000! After 10 long, sobering seconds of unanswered silence, she turns, stalks to the hallway, and slams the door. The wall is rough against my side as I slide down and onto the floor. It's not long before I'm tired of replaying my stale reasoning. My apartment view of the Seoul skyline at the moment offers a moment's relief. It makes the decision a little bit easier. One way or another, I'm not coming home. Looks of disdain, the fake reassurances. It's all that's left for me once I step on that plane and admit that I'm a failure. If I can't swing a single match victory with 4 of the people carrying me, what can I possibly hope to accomplish for the rest of my life? I've let out a long breath. I'm tired. And even though I wouldn't mind falling asleep against this wall, I find myself rising to my feet. Is it narcissism or masochism? It would be so much easier for me to accept that I was never cut out for this in the first place. I really just can't quit, huh? This is such a joke. Gomart's chime sings out as I push my way into the store. Snow-white hair and a wrinkly forehead perk up from behind the counter as I stand at the doorway of his store. Mr. Yun? Come for another run of Go, Mach? I'm just here to take your drinks and scram. It isn't until he gets a good look at me that smile drops on his face. Something the matter? Did you play Go professionally? He nods once, so I continue. What did you play? What kept you going? How did you stop yourself from quitting? A little philosophical, don't you think? Take a breath, Mach. What's going on? At first, as I try to explain as vaguely as I can, but as Mr. Young nods along, allowing me to babble on uninterrupted, I find myself just divulging more and more details. I stop only when it comes to explaining my encounter with Jett this afternoon, the evening I spent sitting in my apartment. You're right. I go to whatever lengths I can to avoid pain, and I've done it all my life. StarCraft is the only thing I've ever been decent at, and I can't commit to it because I'm afraid I'll fail. But it's not just that. I can't quit either. My biggest fear of all is admitting to myself I'm not good enough. I want to believe that as long as I try, I'm not worthless. I ran away to South Korea with a stupid idea that I could make something of myself. Like the world owed me something just for showing up. I'm just tired. I don't want to run anymore. Despite my ragged voice and slumped shoulders, Mr. Yun finds himself a nonchalant smile. And don't. It's much easier to walk. A slight chuckle escapes him. When it ends, he gestures past me to a store. Mach, I'm closing in on 70 and work at a convenience store at 2 in the morning. Someone call that failure. But I don't regret the days I spent studying and competing in Go. If we live without pursuing our passions, what good is living at all? Prizes, fame, status, these things are achieved by few. A competitor must pay for love of the game and the pride of a well-earned victory. Competition is a noble thing. It drives us to improve, innovate, and test the limits of who we are and what we can do. It took humans into space. You wouldn't seek a reason to keep at it if you didn't already know there's value in that. I lean onto the counter, separating us, the tension in my chest softening. I do. And you're right. But I can't stop worrying that it won't be worth it in the end. Or that even if I try my best, I'll fail. You might not achieve everything you set out to, even if you work as hard as you can. No success worth chasing is ever guaranteed. But do you want to spend the rest of your life wondering what you were capable of? My own answer to that was no. I glance away and break a hand through my hair. There's no way I've come this far only to give up now. When I straighten up, he beams a pleased smile at me. Now then, if I were you, I would head home and get some rest. I've got a match to prepare for, after all. I find myself in an utter loss for words. Gratitude forms and falls apart between my lips a handful of times before I simply settle for a deep bow. Thank you, Mr. Yun. You're welcome, Mach. By the way, next time you come by for an old man's wisdom, you'll have to buy something first. For the first time today, I catch myself smiling. Okay. Deal. Aww. Just then, a customer pushes open the door to the store. But there wasn't much else I had to say. Now is probably an appropriate time to depart. As I turn, Mr. Yun lifts his fists at me. Work hard. I raise mine to match his. I will. Apprehension hangs over me as I stand before the doors to Golden Zone fire. Waiting won't make this any easier. With a stride belying my frantic heart rate, I make my way to a table seating for the 4 teammates I neglected the day before. For whatever reason I have to worry disappears and Accel catches sight of me. He rises from his chair and waves me over, leading Reva and Stunt to follow suit. It's only Jett that refuses eye contact with me. Even then, though, she's trying to hide it. I can tell she's relieved that I'm here. Hey, Mach! Ready for practice? Yeah, and sorry about yesterday. It won't happen again. No sweat. That's most of the time we have left, yeah? Yeah. Alright, Stunt, Mach, go set up your PCs and get to work. Stunt jumps from the table and steers himself to my side as we make our way to the setups. Me and Reva played 2v2s while Jett was gone yesterday. I'm pretty sure we could be ranked number 1 in the ladder with enough time. No one takes 2v2 seriously, much less on ladder. Psst, says you. But hey, good that you're already feeling better. If you puke, I know it's because my build is what's sick. I lifted eyebrow, trying to unravel Stunt's meaning. I told him with a glance back at Jett and then Accel that it clicks. Yeah, I'm all better. He smirks and peels away from my side to pick out a PC. Jett, Accel, and Reva fall at a distance, the latter two setting up chairs behind me to observe and make comments. Even with my renewed focus and drive, it becomes readily apparent after a few matches that our practice is still going to be suboptimal. Stunt's trying his best, but doesn't mean much with less than a week until the show match. He still doesn't execute standard builds very well. Accel says as much after tripping my way through another clumsy win. We might need to look into finding someone else to mock to practice with, but there really isn't enough time. It made it more protected for her to pace opponents on ladder. It would be possible to prepare for Mach prepare against certain builds that way, but at this rate, you might be right. Stunt, no one's going to deny your unit control, but you just don't have the strategic breadth of someone like Bolt. The young Protoss player slumps in his chair and stares out into space. I know. Sorry. Did I really come this far to face Bolt unprepared? There has to be a solution. Actually, she could practice with Reva. I mean, she is a pro at all 3 shots. Plus, we got her on the team. Then again, she's more economic. That's not how Bolt plays. But yeah, we're gonna end it right here. The drama certainly was over 9,000 on this episode, so yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I hope you really enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you so much for all the viewers on YouTube and Twitch for joining me for this episode. This one was an exceptionally long one, so this was pretty crazy, especially when it came to the drama factor. So yeah, very much a K-drama this episode was. Hey, I practiced Yoda speak. I did it. But anyway, if you want to check out more of my content, I am on Discord, PlayStation, and on Twitch with the username Tandercia. I'm also on Twitter and Spotify under the handle at DJMK4Life, though I really need to correct this. 4 is actually spelled out on Spotify, so I really need to do that the moment when I do this image again. And then I also have a blog, mahokunoichi.blogspot.com. In terms of audio live streams, I do live shows every Friday and Saturday. Fridays, I'm still determining my time for that, but I will announce it on Discord and Twitter whenever that happens. And Saturdays on at 6 p.m. on a site called Mixler. Link is in my my Twitter profile, though I'll also post it whenever it's posted automatically on Twitter whenever I do go on the air. So keep an eye on my Twitter and you will see a link right there. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this episode, and I will see you in the next one this time tomorrow. So thank you very much, and stay gold, my friends. If it's evening where you are, see a space cowboy, and if it's the morning, I hope you have a wonderful day.
What should I be doing? Find cover. It's gonna get too dangerous for you in here.
TV show. It's how we roll with what they know. Reality bites me comfortably, inducing you to watching me, watching you, watching we, methodically. Hypnotic sheets stay sleeping, peeping. MK Ultra, vulture soakers, Kool-Aid, acid, electric pulses. A bay full of pigs in the sky of Vulcans. Marilyn Monroe swinging with the Sultans. Ain't it something, money's bumping, but it's all in mode with no production. Murdoch, pop locks, cock for consumption. My talk co-opted for saying something.
Sitting here doing your anime, your anime, your